Uh, Good evening.
Good afternoon.
Oh, you guys is afternoon. Here it's evening.
The time differences.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Okay. No.
Oh, you go ahead. Thank you so. Yeah. Thank you so much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, again, I want to take this opportunity to touch base with each and every one of you. And today, I want us to discuss. I want us to look at dairy and beef farming as a business. And I will be addressing key elements that we focus on when we are into dairy or into beef or into calf rearing or into generally cattle farming as a business. We want to start by saying that it is really very, very unfortunate that most of the people who venture into cattle rearing, they do not look at it as a business, or they do not enter into it with a focus as of running it as a business. This is the reason why it doesn't get to change us. It doesn't get to become a serious occupation because we do not give it the seriousness it deserves, and therefore we do not reap the actual benefits that come with dairy farming, beef farming, calf rearing, or generally doing cattle farming as a business. I want to start by making this very clear that having a dairy cow or a beef cow, we must always know that we are in a business of creating wealth using the animal that we have brought home. Anybody who brings home one animal, whether it is a cow or a dairy cow or even a beef cow, he is actually into the business, and that particular cow is a factory. And like any other factory, this particular factory must be managed very well so that we can be able to achieve maximum benefit from every one of the components that are produced from that particular factory. In this particular case, I want us always, if we have done it any other way, let us change, or let us elect to change our outlook. Let us elect to look at it differently, because it is important that we actually look at it differently. A cow is a factory that manufactures 5 items. And each one of these 5 is enough to make us rich. To make us, cows should build houses for us. They should buy land for us. They should give us a good quality life, because it is not just a hobby. And if we do it as a hobby, it would be that we have a factory at home if we have 1 cow. We have 2 factories if we have 2. And we have 10 factories if we have 10. Now, this factory manufactures what? A cow is a factory that first and foremost manufactures calves. A cow is a factory that manufactures milk. A cow is a factory that manufactures growth. A cow is a factory that manufactures meat. And a cow is a factory that manufactures cow dung or fertilizer. Make millions of kwacha or millions of shillings from calves, which are produced from a factory that is a cow. People who know what they are doing, they manufacture, they get millions of kwacha or millions of shillings or dollar from milk that is produced by a cow. Cows produce growth, because when a calf is born, it grows. And if last week the calf was 10 kilos, and then today the calf, you cannot be able to sell it at the same price that you could have sold it last week. Because that therefore means growth is a product of calf rearing. And when we manage it well, every input we put in translates to more money. So we must pay attention to how fast, how healthy are our calves, whether they are heifers or bullocks growing at. A cow is also a factory of manufacturing meat. And we rear beef cattle, or when our cows grow old or have one reason or another to be disposed, they are supposed to be disposed and bring us money from meat. And we need to focus on meat production in every cow or cattle that we have on our farm. A cow is a factory that manufactures fertilizer. And I want to tell you, I understand the industry of Africa and a bit of what happens in Zambia and what happens in Kenya and what happens in East. The fact that a cow is a factory that manufactures fertilizer. And anybody who knows what they are doing and who is conversant with what is happening in the world should not buy chemical fertilizer when they have a factory that manufactures good quality fertilizer at home. We should get to a point, if we really want to be people who want to resonate with the reality and the knowledge that we have acquired, we should get to a point where we say that our factory that produces fertilizer gives us sufficient money from cow dung, and every kilo of cow dung should actually be treated with a lot of care, the way we would treat a liter of milk. A farmer should wonder, supposing you collect your cow dung from your cow and you keep putting it in a particular place, how long will that land be reclaimed to come to a position where it can be like forest land that has all the nutrients without necessarily having to apply chemical fertilizer? On this platform, we are going to be taking you through what you can do with your cow dung for your own shamba or your own land, and what you will do with that cow dung so that you sell it like gold to people who want to do organic farming and serious commercial farming without necessarily having to buy chemical fertilizer. Behind your mind, just record that a cow gives you between 30 kilos to 66 kilos of manure every day. In 1 month, it will give you manure that is in excess of a ton. In a year, it will give you in excess of 15 tons of manure, one single cow. That is enough to transform your portion of land in a manner that you will be surprised when you enter into the kind of experiences we want to share with you on this platform. And you should start selling every kilo of your fertilizer, of your organic, of your cow dung, and make good quality money. Literally very good quality money. Now, today, if you allow me, I want to start first of all talking about calf management. And I want you to know that this is the most important component of your dairy farming. I want you to know that a calf and calf management requires very good skill that can now enable you to match good genetics that you give to your cow through artificial insemination and the potential that that calf will ever get to as when it gets into production. The difference between farmers in Europe or in America who are able to produce 60, 70, 80, or 100 liters of milk from one cow in a good struggle to achieve 20 or 30. And when they reach 30, they think they have attained it. It's basically something to do with and developing or managing that produce to days to pay attention to those details. Allow me to start by saying this. Any farmer who gets their cow in calf, they should know that at the time when the calf is born, the most critical thing that they should ever do in their farm is to focus on survival. A calf that is not well taken care of stands very high chances of dying in under 6 months of her life in a rough world. This is because, and this knowledge must be embraced by anybody who wants to create wealth through dairy farming. They must know that when a calf is born, a calf is born without ability to resist diseases that are found within the environment where they get to be born. Usually, when a cow is in calf, they start building antibodies and growth promoters and special nutrition that are required for the survival of their calf at 5 weeks to delivery. Mark that. 5 weeks to delivery, a cow starts acquiring antibodies from the kind of challenges they encounter within their environment. It creates, it starts building antibodies within that environment. And the antibodies that they come out as a result of fighting various small attacks and certain diseases that they encounter as they feed, as they the body builds. Now, when that happens, immediately the calf is born, production of antibodies stop in the system of the dam or the mother that had just given birth. At the drop of the baby from the from the uterus of the dam, production of antibodies stop. Now, the calf, the mother will lick the calf and lick the calf and lick the calf. After that licking, the calf will have now to be allowed, is now supposed to be fed. What you should do as a dairy farmer or even a beef farmer, both dairy and beef farmers, what you must do is you must wash and clean the udder very well, massage it, and then milk all the stored milk that will come out of the calf of out of the udder of your animal. That particular milk that comes out during the first milking is a very special quality milk. It is like any other milk called colostrum. And colostrum is not the second milking, it's not the third milking, it's not the fourth milking. It is the first milking immediately after the dam has given birth. Now, that should be treated as gold in any farm, whether it is a dairy farm or a beef farm. Colostrum must be treated like gold because it is the one that is carrying what the calf will ever require to survive. And you make sure the calf gets sufficient colostrum that has come from the mother immediately after delivery. And during that particular time, a calf should be given about 2 liters of colostrum without having to milk a pure colostrum, 2 liters. Just give me 1 minute. I'm continuing. Boss, do the dog. Now, sorry, I was getting a bit disrupted. Now, that colostrum should be treated with care. Make the whole of it, put it in a very clean container. Then take 2 liters and give the 2 liters to your calf. Immediately now she has been born. And then after that, you will have to give her another additional maybe 2 liters after maybe 6 or 7 hours later. And then again, another time before you get to 14 hours after delivery. After delivery, a calf is born dependent on liquids. The wall of her alimentary canal has pores through which the colostrum is absorbed through the walls of the alimentary canal without necessarily having to be digested. And that is why colostrum administration should not delay, because those pores start closing at the rate of, I think, 11% per hour. And therefore, they keep on becoming smaller and smaller and smaller. Within 24 to 36 hours, they are tending to completely close up. And during that particular time, when they close up, giving any further colostrum because the animal, the calf, will start now generating certain enzymes that can assist in the breakdown of whatever she feeds on, and in this particular case, usually milk. So, and because colostrum is very crucial, the remain of that colostrum colostrum that has remained from your feeding the calf between the first hour or 24th hour of her life on earth should actually be kept in a very clean container. And if you happen to be lucky to have a deep freezer in your farm or in your locality or within your dairy cooperative, it is highly recommended that you store that colostrum in that one, or when you find your cow is tending towards having started leaking, milk starts leaking before you before the mother, before giving birth, any dairy or beef farmer should get worried, because what actually is supposed to be a preserve of the calf that will be born is getting leaked out, and the quality is almost getting compromised. Unfortunately, due to lack of knowledge, we would be tempted to think that our animal is very good and she will actually be very good producer and all that. Yes, but the problem is the quality of the colostrum will be compromised. And when quality of colostrum is compromised, it exposes the calf that will be born to very high risk. That exposure could actually mean several things. It could mean weakling calves. It could mean stunted calves. It could mean sickly calves. It could as well mean that calf will not go beyond 6 months in her life, because during that time she will have required to build up enough immunity, but because of maybe a combination of lack of sufficient colostrum and a combination of poor nutrition and management and a combination of hostile environments, they succumb if they don't get stunted, if they don't get weaklings, if they don't become weak, they get to die in under 6 months. And a farmer losing a calf due to lack of knowledge, a farmer losing a calf with good quality, with good genetics, actually has lost a lot of money. You are a farmer who has lost an equivalent of $300 within that particular year, because $300, not 300, $3,000, because in Kenya, a good quality heifer in 1 year or so, when they are supposed to be in calves, would be sold at around $300. Because it is an engine, is a factory, is a super machine. One major thing that eats into profitability of anybody who sets out to do business through dairy, or beef farming. Point to take home: colostrum is gold. Make sure your calf receives sufficient amount of it the first 24 hours of her life on earth. After you have done that, the next very important thing to do is focus on rumen development. Rumen development is the next most important component of any dairy or beef farming. Anybody in the dairy or beef farming who has not mastered the art of rumen development will continue making some money in dairy or beef farming, but they will not make gold. They won't make so much out of it. But because they will never know what they miss, they will continue assuming that they are actually doing very well. But the truth is, effective, strategic, deliberate rumen development is the answer to wealth creation through dairy or beef farming. Whether they be heifers that have been born or they be bulls that have been born, a heifer or a bull will give you money and huge amounts of money, depending on how you focus and carefully manipulate the rumen development procedure. How do we go about it? Understand that the rumen is the engine of your cow. Just the way the vehicle you run, her capacity will depend on the power of the engine, will depend on how well fine-tuned the engine is. Or if you have a factory, the optimum production of your factory will depend on how well every machine along the production line is fine-tuned. This is how you look at it. The rumen is what will give you the highest amount of milk during your calves' production time. Well-developed rumen will ensure your calf will grow very fast, so that if a calf is born on 1st of January, if she is a heifer, within 45 to 60 days, she should be weaned. She should no longer depend on milk production. Don't make noise with that pump. The calf you should know that when a calf is born on 1st of January, you should wean it in 45 to 60 days. And he should be adding weight by between 1 kg and 1.2 kg per day, starting from around that 10. And at 45 to 60 days, she should continue adding weight at over 1 kg per day, because growth is a product of dairy or beef farming. Growth is a product that you should focus on. You should be deliberate about. You should ensure, you should monitor, you should ensure that you are growing your animals at the right rate, because you are in business. You're not doing casual dairy keeping. You're not doing casual beef or animal keeping. You are in the business of creating wealth. Monitor, follow your shilling, follow your kwacha, follow your cent, and please love it. Be excited about it. You will know it is worth when you start reaping the benefits. Such a calf that is born on 1st of January, by the 8th to 9th month, that calf should come on heat. The first time, you don't serve. The 9th month should come on heat, you don't serve. The 3rd month, come on heat, you don't serve. The 10th, the 11th month, because it has been adding weight very significantly every day, because you develop the rumen very effectively, you serve at the 11th month or 12th month. When you serve her, and within the 12th or 13th month, you can actually be able to dispose that heifer, if you want to sell her, at over $3,000 US. And you can actually talk about being a breeder, because you are only rearing, you are not only rearing, you are handling this animal in a professional way. And there are markers or indicators of good performance that can be observed at every stage. And when somebody takes that animal home, the person will take that animal home knowing that the first lactation, even before the full maturity of that heifer that is in calf, the first lactation will give between 25 and 35 liters per day. When the calf will, when the heifer will give birth when she's above 32 months, when now maturity will more or less be full, they will be producing between 40, 60, 70, or 80 liters per day. Because you paid attention at every stage and you never abandoned your animal because you are focusing on the mother who was producing milk. What has befallen most dairy and even beef farmers is they only target one item from their business and leave others as byproducts. Yet every one of the 5 products I mentioned are wealth enough that should make a dairy farmer or a beef farmer create wealth at every stage. And if that animal you do rumen development, the way I'm going to guide you, at 10 months or 10 to 12 months, that bull will be a giant. If you are rearing the bull for genetics, she'll be super. If you are rearing her for meat production, she will be a huge bull that will give you not less than $2,000 because you have actually you have supervised every stage and ensured that they are getting the right nutrients that are required. Before I tell you about rumen development, I want to mention here that anybody in the dairy or beef farming must very carefully follow through the that will enlighten them on what are the raw materials of milk production. What are the raw materials for calf? You can tell me. We take a break of how many minutes? How long will you take, David, to renew the link?
Okay, so I've set it up for that's 17:42. So just 2 minutes from the ending of the session.
So we started the meeting at what time?
At 17:42.
17:42 we start again. But meanwhile, maybe I would want to hear what members are saying during this break. Anybody with a question, I would want to address it. Anybody with a deviant mind or a mind that is not in line with what I'm saying, I want to hear. We can just have some interactive moments during this time. Have you found this helpful?
It is very helpful, sir. I just have a question on the rumen development. I didn't quite get you there. Where you said how you can handle the rumen, yeah.
Yes, that is the next, when we go to the next meeting, I'm going to talk about rumen development, basically. So that will be addressed. And that is what I'm going to start on in the next session. Yeah, is that okay?
It's okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so, welcome, my brother. Somebody else?
I must admit it's very helpful also. But going back to the beginning of the presentation, you talked about...
Alita,
Yes.
you are not loud enough. I don't know whether it's my problem or the problem of your loudspeakers or something. You are not loud enough. Alita? Alita?
Oh, can you hear me?
Now I can hear you.
Yeah, I was saying that thank you very much for the presentation. It's very helpful. Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm taking you back to the 5 items that we get out of a cow. I wanted to find out if you've come across any information that also talks about urine as being a fertilizer. Have you ever considered looking at urine for making fertilizers as well? I came across some literature on internet, but I don't know whether it's it makes very, very good urine, but I mean fertilizer, but urine is also encouraged to make a good fertilizer.
Halita, you are mentioning it, and let me tell you guys that are here today, always remember that knowledge is power, and it is power only when you employ it to work for you. Urine is super fertilizer, because the reason why we buy urea is because of urine, uric acid, which is very rich even in human urine, in animals' urine. All of them utilize that. One of the things that make even chicken droppings to be richer than cow dung in terms of fertilizer is because the chicken's droppings have a combination of all the remnants from digestion that also include urine. Yes, when we will be talking about cow dung, and we are going to talk about how to manage it, we want you to harvest every kilo of cow dung, like you harvest every liter of milk, and also harvest the urine therein if you can, and all of them treat them like gold, and see how you can have that employed in your other production, but particularly even using that to produce better quality fodder in your farm, because it is just the same urea that you go buying in a concentrated chemical state. Have I helped you, Halita?
Yes, thank you very much.
Welcome.
Yes, you have. Thanks.
Karibu sana. Thank you. Any other question? Any other question? Okay, so I leave the meeting and join in the next 3 minutes. Is that okay?
Okay, thank you.
Welcome, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
That's fine.